Hey everyone, welcome to Anita's Joint, hashtag Exendajoint, where every day is payday, baby. And we are reading Number Games 9/11 to Coronavirus from Zachary K. Hubbard. We are reading chapter 8. I hope everybody's doing well. Um, Let me just make sure. Hold on, I got to do something real quick. Sorry. I should have set it up before, but yeah, we're reading Number Games chapter 8. Super excited to see what's in this chapter as well. Shout out to Zach. Um, he's helped me learn a lot about gematria. Shout out to the whole soul group, Uriel, you know, Flight Boss. Shout out to Archangel Uriel, the whole soul group. Uh, but yes, welcome again. Welcome. If you are following along with me while reading, I appreciate you. Let me go ahead and share the screen. Okay. So we're reading Chapter 8, Donald Trump's Vaccine Plan, Operation Warp Speed. As we all know, Zach was writing this book. I think, yeah, last year he was finishing up this book. Yeah. Anyways. All right. Before we get to Donald Trump's vaccine plan, Operation Warp Speed, let's refresh our memories on the ritual he participated in on the date of January 21st, 2020, at the World Economic Forum in Switzerland. On that date, he gloated at headquarters of the main sponsor of Event 201 about his recent trade deal with China, while at the same time, on the same date, the first case of coronavirus was being confirmed in the United States from Wuhan, China. And as a reminder, it was being confirmed in Seattle, Washington, the home of Melinda and Bill Gates Foundation, one of the major sponsors of Event 201. And as discussed, the odds of Trump's ritual being a coincidence drastically decrease when you realize that Trump was at the World Economic Forum on his 222nd day of his age, and World Economic Forum sums to 222, the same as Wuhan coronavirus and order out of chaos, reminding us that the coronavirus pandemic was declared exactly 222 months after September 11th, 2001, in New York, summoning to 222, where Event 201 was hosted. And further, when you write out Event 201, it sums to 222. Thus, having well established that the cabal and those puppeteers, pretty much shadow government and their puppets, actors, including Donald Trump, are practitioners of the code, it will be in the lens that we examine his proposal. It will be in the lens that we examine his proposal plan for administrating vaccines via the U.S. military. We'll begin with the date of his Operation Warp Speed proposal, May 15th, written 155, 15/5, like 155 connecting to coronavirus, as well as it being the 2-year anniversary of Clyde X, in light of the connection to 666, the Clyde X. I should note that vaccination equates to 666 with Sumerian gematria. I should also mention that plural Freemason sums to 155 and 56, the same as coronavirus. And the U.S. Capitol is named after a Freemason. Of course, it is named Washington, D.C., summoning to 56, the same as Society of Jesus and Anthony Fauci, linking with the fact that Donald Trump attended the Jesuit school for him in New York in 1964, 56 years before 2020. I bring all this up now because Donald Trump became very popular with television audience before becoming president. During the time of the game show he starred in, The Apprentice. Of course, The Apprentice is the name of the first degree earned after joining Freemasonry, and modern Freemasonry falls under the umbrella of Jesuits. And in the Please remember that Freemasonry equates to 58 with Pythagorean gematria, and Donald Trump announced he was running for the 58 U.S. presidential election from his 58-story Trump Tower before hiring the 58-year-old Steve Ray for inaugurational day, causing Hillary Clinton to write the book What Happened about why she lost to Donald Trump, a title summoning to 58 in Pythagorean gematria. And also, I was going to say, yeah, you got to look up Dolo the Pilot Man if you want to know more. Not saying most of my knowledge, but a lot of the things that have helped me remember a lot about myself has come through him. So shout out to the whole soul group. He's played a very important role in my spiritual awakening and just taking back our power. Shout out to Archangel Uriel, like I said. And all these Jesuits, Freemason, Masonry, fucking skull and bones, they're all, we call them just the shadow government. They're all, because we don't give them so much power, because that's what they are, the shadow. They work in the shadows. But they're shadow government and they're puppeteers. And really it's about having the keys to it's more about having, knowing what's going on in the spiritual realm, how to move in the spiritual realm, right? Because we're spirits and bodies, how to move. And this is how they're moving, the rituals and spells that we are supposed to know as well. But they took our spiritual system from us. So we have to remember our footprints and what we've laid down to remember ourselves, because they know that's how they're coming through bloodlines, and they got, and they don't even look the same, right? All right. As we have learned, both Jesuits and the Freemasons celebrate the motto, order out of chaos. And with the Jesuits in mind, the name Operation Warp Speed sums to 266 with reverse simple, the same as how Society of Jesus motto, Jesus Homan Salvator, sums to 266. And I also broke that down in the Messy Ritual, because this is what I'm learning, and of course it's great to see it. So shout out to Zach as well. Sums to 266, and similar to how Donald Trump made Mike Pence the coronavirus czar of February 27, 2020, the 58th day of the year, and Mike Pence 266th day of his age, being a man with a June 7th, 1959 birthday. On the subject of Mike Pence, I should note that his full name, Michael Richard Pence, sums to 155 with the simple English, the same as coronavirus, and similar to how the date, May 15th or 15/1. As for the Jesuit motto, Jesus Haman Salvator, please recall that this is summoning to 150. This is summoning to this. Oh shit, my bad, y'all. As for the Jesuit motto, Jesus Haman Salvator, please recall that is also sums to 122, connecting perfectly with Pope Francis, a name summoning to 122, and him being the 266th Pope and the first to be the member of Society of Jesus. And he's a first Jesuit Pope, right? Furthermore, connecting the name to the Jesuits even more clearly, Operation Warp Speed sums to 95 with the third Pythagorean. As we learned, the Jesuits were formed September 27th, the day leaving 95 days in the year, to counter the 95 Thesis authored by Martin Luther, reminding of MLK's demise on the 95th day of 1968. And we know what happened. A lot of shit happened in 1968. Remember, we learned about that. Coronavirus was coined in 1968, right? And even more related to the subject at hand, let's not forget the Jesuit Anthony Fauci, having surname summoning to 95, a man being born December 24th, 1940, a date with 95 numerology. And of course, he was standing over Trump's shoulder on the day of the May 15th announcement. Emphasis on 1 115/5, as so often has been during the time of the pandemic. Right now, he's out of office. Now we have Sleepy Joe. And if you didn't know, we have Sleepy Joe, right? And he's weird. They're all weird. They're all weird when you think about it. I don't know how, you know what I'm saying? They're all weird. They all had to do things to be in the position that they're in. But in this realm, anything goes, as you can see. Anything goes, as you can see. So it's just how your spirit moves, you know what I'm saying? How you move your spirit, you know what I'm saying? If you want to sacrifice your kids, that's how your spirit moves. Okay. That's just how your spirit moves. But in my eyes, I'd kill you. But I mean, esoterically speaking, let me just put the disclaimers out there. Esoterically, I'm not a terrorist. I'm not none of these matrix words. But however they move, this is the how do you say, quote unquote. This is how they move. But you know what I'm saying? Just use them as examples, and we can see how either it's just, I think it's like their bloodline. They have to be in some bloodline, but they keep coming back down here, and they want to keep coming down here because I just feel like they don't want to die, and then they're doing something else, right? They're getting some esoteric energy from something. They're getting something. Remember, there's different realities. There's different universes, right? Anyways, let's get to this. To go even further and to show that each of these ciphers are relevant to the name Operation Warp Speed and coronavirus pandemic, both equate to 220 and 94 using simple English and Pythagorean, where the number 94 connects to Roman Catholic Church. As well as for the name Warp Speed alone, it equates with military and the same two ciphers, summoning to 107 and 44. This only makes perfect sense because, as Donald Trump explained, this would be a military operation, with the nation's forces being used to administer the vaccine to the populace as quickly as possible once it was ready, and even warned that the vaccine could come from China to bring more relevance to the military. Oh, could even more warned that the virus could come from virus, and even warned that the vaccine could come from China. To bring more relevance to the military in 44, at the time of finishing this book, the official narrative for the first confirmed case of coronavirus in the world traces to the date November 17, 2019, in Wuhan, China, the date leaving 44 days left in the year, and a date having 67 numerology. When you consider the Clyde X and Event 201 were categorized as war game simulations with the virus, and you don't neglect that the military world games that originated in Rome in 95 were beginning the date of Event 201, the role of the military becomes all more clear in these agendas that are taking hold. Let us not forget, on September 11, 2001, part of the Pentagon's excuse for why the military did not respond more quickly to stop the terrorists from flying planes into their target was because the war game simulations that were taking place at the time, causing much confusion and providing the perfect window for the attack that we now collectively remember as 9/11, a swell date for the national emergency, 911. You might also recall September 11, 2001 was 44 days after the 9th of Ab, summoning to 44, the Jewish annual holiday to remember the destruction of the two temples, the second of which was destroyed in 70 CE by the Romans, reminding us that Vatican equates to 70. My bad. I need to turn the page. Sorry, guys. We're on another tournament. Another tournament point is that Donald Trump's Operation Warp Speed was announced May 15, 2020, 30 days before his 74th birthday on June 4th. The distance of 30 days matters because vaccine sums to 30 and Pythagorean gematria, and the same as Corona. And Trump's big statement from the speech was that he believed science could have a vaccine for coronavirus by the end of 2020. This pairs well with the fact that pandemic was declared March 11th, much like 11/3, and similar to 113, the 30th prime number. Let us not forget that coronavirus pandemic also sums to 113, same as Clyde X, and in that simulation, as well as Event 201. The top objective was to develop a vaccine and administer it to the populace by whatever means necessary, even by cutting corners, such as no trial vaccine, something that is considered very dangerous by the medical world. And as you all know, Leonardo Messi is now going to be wearing the number 30, right? You think about some of the famous football stars and what numbers they wear. Like Ronaldo wears 7, well, Messi was wearing 10, but makes me wonder, well, we already know Messi's a puppet, but anyway, he has the number 30. So it's just, more confirmation, right? More confirmation. Of course, we're always going to attract the confirmations because that's just the space that we're in. So we have to make sure we stay at an equilibrium so we don't get too flunked out, too lost. You know what I'm saying? Don't get too lost. Stay at an equilibrium. Balance it out. Don't get too lost into the matrix. Don't go too far. Book, monk status. Oh, you know everything. Equilibrium. We can learn from everyone equally, even the people that we could consider doing evil on the planet. We can learn from everyone, right? All right. Not by chance, 19 days after Trump's May 15 remarks, the Global Vaccine Summit, summoning to 201 with simple English, was hosted in London, England. It was reported that the event raised at least 7.4 billion, corresponding with the simple English gematria of London, and reminding that the event 201 was October 18, 2019, the day leaving 74 days in the year. Furthermore, the Global Vaccine Summit began June 3rd, the 155th day of 2020, corresponding with the simple English value coronavirus 155, and pairing with the date of Trump's big vaccine goals, May 15th or 15/5. Even further, it ended on June 4th, a date that can be written 4/6, not unlike 46, representing Ordo, Abba, Cho. The fuck does that mean? As well as chaos and virus. All right. One thing I am currently wondering about that seems unrelated at first is if it is a coincidence that on June 14th, 2020, Donald Trump's 74th birthday, it also happened to be the concluding date of the PGA's 74th Charles Schwab Challenge that was won by a Jewish golfer, Daniel Berger. Born April 7th or 7/4, the same date Trump's tower burned in 2018. Okay. Consider this was the first PGA event after the break in the series caused by coronavirus. And Charles Schwab is the investment firm for financial markets. This matters because Daniel Berger won the tournament 68 days after his birthday, and market as well as golf equate to 68. Same with Donald John Trump, The Apprentice, and Mar-a-Lago, the latter being Trump's favorite golf resort. Adding insult to injury, it was reported that Trump returned to playing golf on May 23rd, 2020, a date with 68 numerology, after being advised to stop on March 8th, the 68th day of the year. Of course, due to coronavirus, coined in 1968, in light of that date, 5/23, Donald Trump equates to 5/23 using Titanic gematria. As you will learn in due time, the world of scripted sports, yeah, for real. Let me see. 45, we're on 45. Trump. Okay, I was looking. All right. 45. That's where we're at right there. Okay, bet. Let me see this again. There it is. As you'll learn in due time, the world of scripted sports and the world of scripted news go hand in hand. Yep. Including the scripted events of world leaders and perhaps through this story. The cabal was hinting at who might be a big hand in a big ritual that involved international bankers, where the cabal was literally stealing the wealth of the people of the world for the benefit of the very top earners, such as the Jeff Bezos type. Case in point, on July 22nd, 2020, it was reported that Bezos had made more than $13 billion in the last 24 hours due to surging Amazon stock prices, and his wealth had climbed past Nike, McDonald's, and Costco to nearly worth as much as 50% of the Dow Jones. Never mind that his 193rd day of his 56. Oh shit! Never mind that was his 193rd day of his age. 56 in Roman Catholic Church equates to 193 with simple English, and 193 is the 44th prime number corresponding with the gematria of Seattle, equating to 44. The city sitting on what could be Cabal's favorite parallel, the 47th corresponding with gematria of the Vatican, equating to 47, that was established on 2/11, just like 211, the 47th prime. And also, it also reminds me as well to think about the best football teams like Portland, like and right now Seattle used to have a team. Well, like peak game, like what is it? It's scripted for them to like be the best based upon the gematria and based upon what locations they because if you live in a big city, that means they've done a lot of work here, a lot of spiritual work, and that's how it's manifested in the material, right? So you can also peep game when it comes to that. And these shadow government cabal, they're not really worried about money. That's what they make us worry about. They're not worried about money and stuff like that. They tell us things to worry about. But money is the last thing they're worried about. They're all about taking over the minds of the people and using them to be able to build their world. Like they need us in the factories and they need us doing stuff. But now, because of the artificial intelligence that they're creating, they're like, okay, we don't need you humans anymore, but we still want you to be sheeple. We want you to be dumb, deaf, blind, cheap, and weak. You know what I'm saying? We don't want you to speak out and and people, I think they say, a computer can't do my job. If they could, they'll make every job, robots. So that's why it's like, damn, when I look at some of these athletes, I really hope they're human. But if they get this shot, I'm just saying, like, ain't no telling. They're going to be they're going to be turned into like AI, like, and they just have one mindset, right? And so then we're going to be looking at a whole bunch of robots on the pitch playing football. They got accurate passes and some of them might malfunction. It's just crazy shit when you look at all this stuff that they think. And that's just if we get lost into it, right? Oh, okay, these athletes are not robots. That's if we get into it, right? But there's a bigger play, right? And it's all about, they're going to be taking the athlete's essence of them, right? And make them take their energy. And either they know or they don't know, right? And eventually I feel they're going to have to realize or what's going on, right? Right? Eventually, right? But then again, it's like, hey, it's your life. You're in that body. But some of them may not even be real, you know? I mean, were you there during their time of birth? Were they made in the lab? You know, they be having two babies nowadays. So, you know, you just got to peep game. Like, we have people walking with us that are not actually people. So you got to be able to peep game. You know what I'm saying? So, I be hoping, you know, my team, you know, is not as great, but the team I support, and I really hope all these ladies are real. But sometimes it makes you wonder. But then that's kind of getting lost into sort of cloning and stuff like that. But listen, it could be here. You know, we can speculate. But we know something else is going on, right, in this reality. Yeah. So, oh, it's pretty funny but it's like, oh my God. Where are we at? We're on if. Okay, yeah, we're on if that wasn't enough. Okay. You know what I'm saying? You just got to be careful, because then we'll take Messi's essence and create another Messi in a clone office, in a clone facility. You know, there's a lot of rappers, you know, that they quote unquote are cloned, right? After they kill them, and then they clone them, right? And then now they presented back to the world, right? Especially those people that come back with pink hair, right? But they kill them and they clone them and they change their features and they grow them and they look just like us, but you know, inside they're not really people. It's weird, right? And we don't really know where their real person was. We only get to see before, like, especially it's really heavily in the music, because you know the music is the key. Music is key to the universe. Music is a frequency. And we enjoy to listen. We love to enjoy listening to music, because for me, music lifts my spirit. I get to go get lost into music. I get, you know, and it's amazing because I resonate with some songs. They make me feel certain ways, and it makes me feel better. And then they twist the music and they make it all satanic and devilish and demons, and all of a sudden, you know, you got children popping exos and mollies and horses in the back and all this tough type stuff. You know what I'm saying? They take the artist's innocence and they invert it, right? They make it weird. They make it demonic, satanic, right? And you know, that music is not supposed to do that. Music is not supposed to be like that, right? And it sucks to see the puppets that they use, and it's like, damn, they're not even there no more. Like, they're not even there no more. They're not the same people we listen to. Now their music is weird. It's saying something else, especially if the stuff they have them present. I mean, I really don't watch music videos anymore because so much programming. So I just listen to the music, but you know, it gets tough. It gets tough. You know what I'm saying? It's tough. But let's get it. All right. If it wasn't enough. Okay. If that wasn't enough, on the same day, Trump's 74th birthday, June 14, 2020, Israel, if that wasn't enough, on the same day, Trump's 74th birthday, June 14, 2020, Israel, a Jewish nation named after a section of the Golan Heights, Trump Heights, equating to 74 after Donald Trump. As we know, Donald Trump likes golf. And more importantly than that, he likes Israel. Having visited their on Jerusalem Day, before dashing directly to the Vatican, dashing off directly to the Vatican to pose with Pope Francis on May 25th, on May 24, 2017, the 144th day of the year. What is concerning about this is mainstream Israeli publications such as Haaretz, Times of Israel, and Jewish Standard are discussing Donald Trump as a partial Jewish Messiah, where both Jewish and Messiah equate to 74. This becomes all more disturbing when you realize that there is a shekel being sold in Israel with Donald Trump's head on it. And the third temple, on the other hand, furthermore, that proceeds of this coins are going to be used to build the third temple that will be built at the time of the Jewish Messiah, per prophecy. And what adds to the concern is that the fact that Israeli and U.S. media began, and what adds to the concern is that the fact that Israeli and U.S. media brought attention to the coming Trump Heights territory on September 16th, 2019, the day leaving 106 days left in the year, the number corresponding to, with simple English value of prophecy, equating to 106. That was precisely a span of 39 weeks from the funding being approved for the development of Trump's birthday. And there are 39 books in the Old Testament, the Jewish section of the Bible. It was also a date with 44 and 64 numerology, connecting to the gematria of Israel and Zion, both equating to 44 and 64, and reminding that there are 44 kings of the ancient Israel, and Donald Trump is the 44th person to be the president of the United States, despite being number 45. With regards to number 45, Holy Bible sums to 45 with Pythagorean and reverse Pythagorean gematria, and in the holy text, the warning of revelations are through the sounds of trumpets, not too far off from the Trump-Pence presidency. If you care to add to your 45 lens, Mike Pence sums to 45 with both Pythagorean and reverse Pythagorean, as well as Gutenberg, the name of the first published Bible in the book. And going beyond gematria, the year of King James Bible was published 1611. King James turned 45 years old, having been born June 19, 1566. Thus, there can be no doubt that the riddles we are facing in the time of Donald Trump's presidency are absolutely biblical and relating to Revelation. This is something we will take apart further ahead when we dissect the meaning of the first case of coronavirus being confirmed outside of China and the United States. January 21st or 1/21, like 121, while Trump was gloating about financial wealth at the World Economic Forum instead of human decency. As you'll learn, there is a great significance to Revelation and coronavirus outbreak, equating to 121, the same as the big players at Event 201, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Johns Hopkins University, the World Health Organization, each equating to 121 as well, and in light of what the agenda is ultimately about. You'll also realize there's no accident. Sirius XM made channel 121 the coronavirus pandemic channel on March 6, 2020, the 66th day of the year, reminding us Revelation is the 66th book of the text. And even more, March 6, 2020 was a date with 49 numerology corresponding with the Pythagorean gematria of Revelation, as well as Washington and America. And even further, that the date can be expressed 3/6, similar to 36, where 666 is the 36th triangular number and 666 is the number of the beast that will either have to be taken or denied by the person who chooses. And oh shit, it says that will be. Let me say that again. Yeah, where 666 is the 36th triangular number, and 666 is the number of the beast that will either have to be taken or denied by the person who chooses in Revelation in the time of the Great Tribulation. As a reminder, that choice is do they want to buy it, that choice is do they want to be able to buy or sell. Of course, per the Bible, 666 is taken on the forehead or the right hand, and many people have their foreheads scanned at this very moment to see if they're healthy enough to enter stores and clinics. As that they can buy or sell. If you ask me, it's clear. If you ask me, it is clear symbolism. On the subject of Trump, Pence presidency and trumpets, please recall what transpired when an earthquake struck Seattle. Please transpire when an earthquake struck Salt Lake City, Utah, March 18, 2020, knocking the trumpet out of the Angel Morano's hands at the town's iconic Moriam Temple. What made this event extremely fascinating is that where Moriam sums to 78 with reverse simple, Salt Lake City sums to 78 with reverse Pythagorean, and March 18 was the 78th day of the leap year. As you know, the numbers connect to the gematria of Jesuit and Scottish Rite, each equating to 78. And the founder of the Mormon faith was Joseph Smith, a Scottish Rite Freemason, who was killed on June 27th, 1844, emphasized on 44, and on the date leaving 187 days left in the year, and the date with 95 numerology. At the same time, March 18th, earthquake was 88 days before Donald Trump's 74th birthday, and where Mormon sums to 88 and 74. Trump sums to 88 and 47. Furthermore, the Mormons quietly opened a temple next to the Vatican on January 15, 2019, 61 weeks and 1 day before the earthquake, which also fell on the date of 61 numerology, corresponding with the gematria of Jesus, Church, and Christian, as well as God with Jewish gematria. Ahead, we'll talk about military technology and earthquakes. And if the topic frightens you, help me do something before they administer our vaccines too. It says, and if that topic frightens you, help me do something before they're administering our vaccines too. Right, real shit. Military. That's chapter 8, y'all. That is chapter 8. So, it's pretty interesting, yeah. It's a great book. Thank you, Zach. I'm really enjoying reading the book because he really plays out. I mean, so much information, right? So much information. And he's living with us. He's living with us as well in these times, And I mean, I already made up my shit. I'm not gonna get a vaccine. Shit, you got me fucked up. But if you want to take it, hey. But I think in certain locations, I mean, depending on where you are in certain areas, I mean, continue to raise the frequency of the planet. You know what I'm saying? There are certain areas where on the planet, they're going to get hit the hardest. And there's certain areas on the planet feel will be like quote unquote safe zones. But ultimately, we already won because we are aware, and the fact that we know that we're immortal, um, and we're not in fear. We've already won this battle, um, and we're going to be protected. I feel through the end times, quote unquote, and we will help start rebuilding the planet. But we're going to get through the chaos that they have prophesied through the rituals that we are living out. And you have to do your own rituals and spells to make sure you're in good frequencies and good vibes to manifest your reality, right? You have to be on your own timeline. You have to be living out your reality. And remember, I feel if you believe, like I said, if you believe in higher beings working with you and conspiring to work with you, know that they are. And continue to ask yourself questions like, how can I serve myself and how can I serve others um, better? That's some questions I continue to ask myself. How can I be better? How can I be of service? How can I continue to, take back my power? How can I continue to stand in my power and be in my power? And remember all these things. I mean, when you think about the things that they have prophesied for the people that walk the planet, you know, I have no fear. Like I said, I already live in fear. But I have no fear, and I feel that we are the people. We will get through it, right? And as y'all know, in biblical prophecy, the wheat is being separated from the chaff, or quote unquote, the people that are willing to stand for their freedoms and their liberties and their rights being, uh, we will be separated from those that are willingly, um, no questions asked, do the opposite, right? And so, unfortunately, let them play out as examples, and we will play out as examples. But ultimately, it is your choice, and I always gonna choose knowing I can't trust man. You can't trust man. It's been written too much in history um, how much man has fucked over man for greed, for power, for these material things, and quote unquote what they think they will gain when they do die. Um, some of these people think they're going somewhere uh, based upon certain, witchcraft that has been practiced upon them. Um, so it's, we are taking it day by day. Every day is an uphill battle. Sometimes I don't, like I tell you, sometimes I don't know what's going to happen in a couple weeks for me. I haven't got what, quote unquote, I'm mentally, spiritually stable, and in my reality, it's manifesting. But I still have a life. I still have things I want to do. And remember, Big Brother is watching you as we are watching Big Brother on everything, on everything. We're always being watched. So, which is okay. I don't really care. And remember that you're being watched by powerful spirits that are with you. You know what I'm saying? And entities that are not for you as well. So you just have to continue to stay mentally sound, stay grounded, stay, you know, expanding your mind, raising your consciousness, becoming more aware of things around you. Become aware of the reality that you live in, the metaphysical and the occult knowledge that is here that others have put for us to find. But also, you have to find, or say, just remember your footprints in the sand, right? And that's going to help you continue to navigate what's coming to us, right? And what we're going to help uh, bring light to, right? But yes, I just continue to just be grateful to become aware of this awareness, and luckily, my spiritual awakening was not hijacked from me. Luckily, there are people that want to listen, and there's a lot of us out here. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of us out here. There's a lot of us out here. So if you happen to find me, fuck yeah. Hey, shout out to you. And you're gonna find others as well. So we're all in this together. That's really all I have to say. I'm very grateful. I'm just grateful, y'all. I really have nothing else. I am so grateful, like, to just know, that I'm okay. That we're gonna be all right. We're immortal. We're fucking immortal. Space. But anyways, tomorrow I got NWSL football action, so you stay up for your girl. Houston Dash plays. But yeah. With that being said, thank y'all again for tuning in to Anita's Joint. #Exendajoint, where every day is payday, baby. I'm Anita flying high, and I'm flying up out of here. Deuces.